This is Andy Pirrell for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by promoter Frank Warren. Frank, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Andy. How are you?
I'm all good, thanks. Good to hear you doing well. Obviously, we've come down today and we've had the announcement of the link-up between Tyson Fury and ESPN and Bob Arum. Just talk me through the deal and how long or complicated or easy it was to make.
Well, it was done fairly quickly. The offer was made and we sat down with everybody, all the representatives from the various people. Top ranked people were there. I was there. Tyson's sponsors and management, MTK, were there, and we sat down and ironed it all out and made it happen.
So what does this mean for Tyson in terms of his fights? Will he be fighting if he's under these terms of this new deal? Will he be in America for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, he'll fight in the States. He's not for the foreseeable. He'll have fights in the UK, but he'll also have fights in the States. That's where we're at. That's what we're trying to do. You know, for him, it's an extremely big platform. It gives him great leverage in making the bigger fights. ESPN are a platform that's got nearly 3 million subscribers. They, they will throw all their might of their network behind Tyson. So, he's probably in a better position than any heavyweight in the world.
Let's talk about the fights. Obviously, we're waiting on news of whether the Wilder Fury match will be confirmed. How difficult does it make to try and make that fight? Obviously, Deontay with PBC, now Tyson tied up with Bob Arum and Top Rank. Are the politics in boxing going to make it difficult to make?
Not really. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's our job to make them happen, and we'll work very hard to make the fights happen. When you look at it, you've got fighters with three different networks. But the fact of the matter is, I think with what the fighters' expectations level as far as financial remuneration is concerned, I think this is going to make some of these fights even easier to make.
Obviously, there's a possibility that purse bids might come into play again with Wilder Fury. Say if Showtime or DAZN stepped in, would the fight still happen in your eyes?
We don't know. We haven't got to that stage yet. We've got negotiations before we even get there, and we are about to recommence negotiations today.
So in the ideal world, what would be your timeline in terms of an announcement on Tyson's next fight?
I don't know yet. It's just going to take time. He wants to be out in late April, early May, and that's what we're aiming towards.
And obviously, the other big announcement today, Billy Joe Saunders moving up to super middleweight to fight for the vacant WBO world title. What's prompted the decision for Billy Joe to take this fight instead of the Andrade fight when he was mandated to have that bout later on this year?
Well, he wanted to be a two-time world champion. He's gone up to super middleweight. It seems that's where everybody's going at the moment. And there's some great fights for him to be made if he can win the title. He's got to win the title first. But if he wins it, that may set fights up with Callum Smith, the winner of Groves and set a fight with Callum Smith and the winner of Eubanks and DeGALE. There's some great domestic matches to be made there.
Obviously, the way that the WBO run is if a world champion steps up a weight, they become the mandatory challenger for that title. Billy Joe at the minute doesn't hold the title. So how did it work out in the end that he was given the opportunity to fight for the vacant belt?
Because he's a former champion and he's undefeated, and his last fight he fought at that weight.
And what are your thoughts as well? You've mentioned Eubank DeGale. What are your thoughts on that one for the weekend?
It depends. I think it's all about which DeGale shows up. If it's the one who fought Truex the first time, then he'll get beat. But if James can do what he normally does, which is work behind a jab and use his jab well and use his footwork to as best he can, then I think he can win the fight. But it's all about has he still got it? That's how I read the fight.
And a couple more things just to touch on from today. Nicola Adams pulling out of injured from her world title bout. What has she done and how disappointed is she that she isn't going to be able to fight now?
She's disappointed. We're all disappointed. She's pulled a muscle in her shoulder, so she can't punch. So she'll be out for at least another 2 months by the looks of it.
And the first time today we've seen Nathan Gorman and Daniel Dubois in such close quarters. Was you excited there just to see if maybe there'd be a bit more bite than what there probably was?
No, they're two easygoing guys. They're quite quiet guys from that point of view. That's a big fight. That's simmering, and it's going to simmer and simmer until it gets brought to a boil. Then you're going to get a great fight when it happens. Eventually happens.
Well, Frank, I know you're in a bit of a rush, so thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.